Hey Saber fans. So, got my fingerprint reflectors on here because I have a fingerprint magnet to show off today. This is a Watto's Junkyard Mr. Tyranus. It's got some nice little accents going on here. Beautiful hilt. I'll get into more details, but for now, this installed beauty. Oh my lord. Put a good sized blade on it. I think I did a 33-inch. Of course, we have the classic Yoda versus Dooku.
The wrath of the dark side. Count Dooku.
So I think the first one was Count's Claw from Kyberphonic. This one is, I think it's just called Duke from K-Sith. I did a pulsing flickering blade.
I've been looking forward to this. Since great fear I do. I've been looking forward to this.
Can't say I'm a fan of the pulsing, but it's okay. So, for this video purposes, I'll just stick with this for now. And of course, color changing on the fly. Or you can fight your opponents like that, right? I've known a few people that like to do that. Like, hey, to each their own. There we go. Back to it. So, the things that really set this apart from other replicas, well, what you'll see first is there are no visible screws on the spine. There's no other Dooku that has done that in the past. The only visible screw is the set screw for the blade. And that is one of the biggest things that sets it apart, in my opinion. The other thing is just the overall feel and quality of it. Like, it's so slim. It's so much fun to spin around. And I had to do a lot of improvisation on this to get this to be auxiliary.
Count Dooku.
It was a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. You might be able to see it. There's, it's not going to focus, is it? Essentially, there's two screws on the inside that hold this down. And you got to fiddle with those for a while before you can actually get the auxiliary on there. This is using the Goth Designs chassis that he put out recently. And it's a really cool design, too. Because, I mean, it allows you to put in some accent LEDs in the pommel. So you can animate those 6 LEDs down in there however you want. Really cool. Really cool. A few other things that set this apart. Just overall accuracy. You know, it's Watto's Junkyard. One of the best accuracies. And the removable grip plates is something I've noticed a lot of people are not a fan of. I think they're a really cool idea for like a crystal reveal or board access, because these 3 plates are removable. With Goth Chassis, you don't have to worry about that, thank God, because removing these 2 ain't too bad, but you got to peel up that grip material a little bit, which eventually the adhesive will wear off. I'm glad he did it this way, because now literally all you have to do, once you epoxy the CoverTech wheel together, just pull it out. That kills power to everything too. So Literally, this is all your management right here. And you have batteries in there with those bulging connectors. And you can see the plate that I was talking about. There's actually 2 screws that hold this on. What I did was I removed one of them so that this is the plunger, more or less. It's a very, very small amount of travel. But I also drilled a hole in the center of that aluminum plate, put a 3mm LED in there. I'm telling you, it took hours to dial that in, because the LED, the 3mm LED in there acts as a plunger. There's also this 5mm LED that also acts as a plunger. You can't even hear it click. And then there's an LED tactile switch under that glued to the 5mm plunger. So it's all just connected. So, you know, I love the idea of having a switch in there for the trigger, and I also love the idea of having an LED. It's like, I want both. And I ended up finding a way to do both. So that works out perfectly. And I forgot the recharge port adapter in there. Essentially, it's pretty much the same setup as this plastic piece, just with a recharge port on the end. Plug it in, plug in your charger, it charges, done deal. Crazy cats. So on the pommel, these small bits like to roll around like crazy. Jesus. Typical, small parts run away. So you remove that little brass greeley there. You have your 22mm speaker, 6 accent LEDs, that's really it for down there. Probably doesn't help neither that I'm trying to do this in cotton gloves. Oh, and this brass greeley loves my keyboard. It's like, oh, hello, crack and crevice. I'm a small part. I'm gonna live here forever. No, you're not. Tell you what, small parts, they're gonna be the death of me. But yeah. So you got these nice little bulging connectors. You got your SD card, got your micro USB. I hate the fact that my camera's not focusing, but well.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi.
Battery level indicator. Already at 8 minutes on this video, Jesus. There's a lot to show off with this hilt. Then, on top of the beautiful hilt, get these things off. You have this beautiful presentation box. Comes with a nice certificate of authenticity signed by Kai. This is the proof you're looking for. I'm pretty sure that came from the whole Tusken Slayer fiasco a while back. Not so long ago. And let's see. In the box, you get some goodies. And you can always look at Phoenix Props video for what all's in there. You get extra grip material. Get a couple Allen wrenches. These Allen wrenches are not the ones you need for the switch plate in there. You need a different metric for that. And you get this nice accurate blade plug. And you get the static pommel, which, gotta be honest, I haven't even used this once. I'm not really a static guy on most pieces. And the set screw is really tiny. Really tiny set screw. Really small thread depth too. So, after you remove the blade, you have a magnetic adapter for the blade, or you can stick the blade plug in there. Me personally, I love having shine through. So I took a 7/8 Hero style blade plug, cut it down to size, and a nice little stock V3 connector in there. Cut it down to size, polished it up. And go back to the last font. I like that one better.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our
Mainly just because
knowledge
of
of
the blade
force.
style. You get some nice shine through now. Yeah, this is super slim. It's so nice. It's got the accurate brass greeblies on there. I love the sound venting on this. That's one thing that really sets it apart for me from the 89 Sabres version, is the sound venting. It's very discreet. Now, granted, Goth Chassis only uses a 22mm speaker. It still sounds really good, considering how they did the sound venting. You know, it's fully enclosed. I just put this thing on wrong. These gloves come with instructions. Do not allow Aaron to put on gloves. And now I lost the Allen head. The Allen wrench. No, no, it's on the bag. Jesus. Still early. Let's see here. Put you back up there. Yes. Beautiful hilt. Measurements. So, from claw to pommel, it's about 12 and a half inches from the tip of the claw to this part of the pommel claw mounting. I don't know what you'd call that. And from the emitter to the pommel, it's right at 10 and a half inches. And I'm telling you that it feels so good. And nice gold button activation. Auxiliary, man, it's what I like so much is that whenever you're wielding this, it's really easy to just kind of shimmy your hand down just a hair. So, you know, if it's anything like baseball, I'm pretty sure you want your dominant hand closer to the bottom. You know, extra reach. You just shimmy down. Let's see.
Sense great.
Yeah, that's like, anytime I think of the saber, I think about that moment whenever he's telling Anakin that.
Sense great.
Yeah, there's locked up. You know, it's awesome. Yeah, the texture on these grips is so nice. I'm not sure how those grips compare to an 89 Sabres or a Saber Forge. I can't attest to that because Saber Forge has recently redone their model, and I'm pretty sure all they do is knurl it on the lathe, whereas this is rubber. I don't know how the hell they make this stuff, but I guess it's injection molded rubber. Regardless, I don't care. One other thing I did whenever I was done with the install, like completely done with it, I threw some fairly thin double-sided tape, just double layered it, stuck under each corner where those points come up, just cause it's like, it can still be removed pretty easily, but it's solid, you know? I love the shine back that the claw gives, like from where it's shining. Yeah, bet you can probably see it a lot better without the blade plug in there. Hey, I just realized I'll see a little shine through near the set screw. Just a little bit. Make sure I don't lose the set screw. Like I said, it's really tiny. I think it's like an M2. That might be an M3. I don't know. M2, M3. But yeah, the way they engineered this was freaking awesome. No visible screws for that. That's what really set it apart for me, is that and the pommel. Now I just, after I seen that, I was like, oh my Jesus, I've got to have this. Granted, you definitely pay for it. The quality is definitely there. Like, anytime I walk in my hobby room and I see this sitting there, I'm just like, oh, quality. Very high quality. Very good stuff. I do like how Goth did the chassis retention. The chassis retention is these two brass greebles. And I gotta tell you, you know, I was trying to design my own chassis for this. And, you know, with that curvature in there, I like, you know what? I'm chalking this one. Said to hell with this. I went with the Goth chassis. Blade depth is enough for spinning. This is not a dueler by any means, shape, or form. Blade depth is about 23 millimeters from the top of this magnetic connector to the bottom, right next to the NeoPixel connector.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge of the force.
Anybody who buys Wattos know that they're going to pay premium for a quality product. That's just how it works, you know. It's get what you pay for, right? Don't expect to buy a $200 LGT saber and expect the same quality out of this. Yeah, I think the only thing I would have liked to have seen done better is maybe change the pommel setup just a little bit, because I think, if my memory is serving me correctly, I think this pommel opening, once I take the greeble out that likes to run away from me, I'm going to put it on back. Okay. Memory serves me correct. This opening was like almost 27 millimeters. So, I mean, there could be a little bit of modifying there in order for this to fit a 28 millimeter, probably. That is the only real improvement I could see on this design. But I get it, you know, it's Watto's is definitely more of a accuracy buff. And they definitely nailed this. They nailed it hardcore. I know a lot of people gripe about the grips. Yeah. A lot of people gripe about that because, you know, they're afraid they're going to come off or whatever. It's like, just install it, put some double-sided tape on it, call it a day, you're done. And that's actually how they came. Whenever I initially got this, I was trying to figure out a way to where I could remove those grips easily without, you know, messing up the adhesive on the rubber grips in general. So I fooled around with some magnets. It was okay. Wasn't that great. But Goth Chassis, ain't got to worry about it. Yeah, that lovely shine through trigger. Oh, love that. Just a regular red LED, pretty much. Just in a custom housing that seems to have been forgotten or never discovered by most of the saber community. Which is fine. There's only one maker I know of that sells those switches, or one distributor. He's off in the UK, so it's not too easy to get. Oh well. I think that about covers everything. Yeah, I think so. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, may the Force be with you.